Good afternoon. I'd like to call our meeting to order for the Pensacola City Council. This is our Committee of the Whole for October 10th, 2011. I'd like to welcome everyone. We have some special presentations for today, and I would like to kick off our meeting with our Boyd Forum. If anyone in the audience does want to speak, you may fill out one of these yellow forms in the back of the room, and you'll have 1 minute to present your idea or concern to your council members as a whole, and also the Mayor's office is taking notes as well. And I do have one speaker, Julian A. Harris, Jr., and he's from District 6. Can I get permission to, I'm sorry, I can't quite read your writing.
I've been told that since I was
my lot, back to natural lots. Okay, so come forward and you can explain. I'm sorry, I couldn't read the whole portion. Welcome. You can go to the microphone that's standing up right there.
Okay.
Thank you.
I didn't bring my glasses. Left them in the car because I went over to security, and I just learned that I got a minute to do this.
Well, you can have a few more minutes. That's fine. It's
well,
just designed to present your case to
my wife
council.
says I talk too much, so I wrote down and I timed it. It'll take me about 2 minutes to read.
That's fine. You go right ahead.
But it might be a little longer without my glasses.
That's okay.
This is concerning 1812 North Alkanee Street. I know it's Martin Luther King, but I grew up and it was Alkanee, so I call it Alkanee. Martin Luther King Boulevard. My mother's people came here from British Guiana, now Guyana in South America. My father's people came here from, as best we can tell, from Trinidad. When my Uncle Herman used to be asked if he was a Pensacola native, he would tell people, we watched the French come and go, we watched the Confederate come and go, we're waiting for the Americans to leave. So I don't know whether that qualifies me too as being a native, but I'm a Florida native. We've been here since the French occupation. As best I can tell, my family's owned this piece of property since right before the Civil War ended. But they were living on it, I believe, since they came here, the Harris side of the family. I have one son. He's working in Singapore right now. I own a property right in front of Bayview Park. When he was born, I planted an oak tree. I took a picture of him the day I planted it when it was just an acorn with a leaf coming out of it. That tree still stands over there on my property. And through the years, I took pictures of him from that day as he and the tree grew up. When he comes back to Pensacola, he goes over there and stands and looks at that tree. I've never asked him what he thinks about or whatever. Since Hurricane Ivan, I lost those pictures, by the way, in Hurricane Ivan. I lost everything I own in Hurricane Ivan. Since Hurricane Ivan, I personally have planted at least 250 trees. My pine trees are currently about that long, and they're doing well. I was told after the hurricane, the county advised me to remove my, I'm sorry, it wasn't the county. The insurance company advised me to remove my dead pine trees because they would just be another liability. Well, I refused to do it. One of those dead pine trees, I have an osprey that lives part-time in it. She got 2 boyfriends right now, and she goes back and forth to that nest. But she sits out and fishes from my dead pine tree. I saw her this morning. She'll be there this afternoon when I get back. My point is, I purchased this property because it's been in my family for a long time. My family wasn't interested in it. I liked it because there's an a pecan tree growing on it. Through this city slash and cut program, the walnut tree has been cut down. There was a pear tree there that was cut down that I was trying to grow. I bought this property at the last tax sale in May, this past May, because the city people that, what do they call them, you know, whatever the department is, that code enforcement, I think it's called, came over, and I had an oak tree that was growing right there on the property, about the distance from me to that post there now, from the right-of-way. And it was about 3 inches in diameter and doing fine. Code enforcement told the guy that I didn't own it at that time. That's what the reason I decided to buy it. Code enforcement made them, and the stump is still there. You can go look at it if you like. Made him cut it down. Wasn't bothering anybody. Now the rationale was, eventually, probably 100 years from now, it may upset the sidewalk that you all have just put in, which is not true, because that tells me he didn't know about trees. Trees only do that when water's scarce. Anyway, and then it takes about 30 years to do it. That's when I decided to buy this property. Well, shortly after I bought it, I get this notice that the weeds are, I've had this problem with other properties, so right now the properties I had the problem with, I've donated to Manna, and so Manna's got these gardens growing on them. Hopefully, again, to save another pecan tree. Actually, 2 trees. They're not bearing this year, by the way. Anyway, I bought this property hoping to grow trees on it. I don't intend to sell it. Nothing will happen to it other than God growing whatever he wants to do on it until I die. Now, when I die, you know, that's a different ball game. And I'm an old man, so we're not talking a long time, I guess. I wish we were. There's a precedent for this. 2145, I don't find an ordinance, but then, you know, I just found out Friday that I had to be here today, or it would be good for me. I didn't know, they didn't tell me that. They gave me till this coming Thursday to go cut all that stuff down that's growing. So I've been paying the taxes on it for 3 years, and I've been trying to let the trees grow for 3 years. Then I get this notice about 2 weeks ago. No, it was about a month ago. I was supposed to talk to Mr. Kobe. He never called me back. I was told that somebody else is now doing it, and they vetoed it. And I haven't looked up to see if it's an ordinance. Apparently, it's an unwritten rule. But the precedent for me, what I'm asking is 2145 Airport Boulevard. It's real pretty. I went by there yesterday because, you know, I had to be here today and get prepared for this. It's owned by some company called TERHAAR and Company Limited, LLC rather. Okay? When I checked on it at the tax office, I was told that they own the property. It's for sale as commercial property. I called the number on the sign, and the first thing the guy told me, it's wooded, which enhances its value. I said, yes, that's true. But it's commercial, and if you're interested in it, you can do whatever you want to do with it, which I predict all those pretty trees you see there now. If you know where shake and bake.
So, Mr. Harris, you're looking for clarification then on what is the definition of a wooded lot, if they at this address are allowed to call it wooded and not cut, or what are you needing
No,
clarification
it's called
on?
return to natural state. At least that's the way they got it. And if there's no ordinance on it, then I presume that, well, I was told Friday, you know, again, this is, you know, I know I may be rambling and it may not make sense. I have a lot more time, except in federal court, to prepare. But I'm not prepared to give you a lot of information on it.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do, because this format is just to make us aware of it, and your council member is out today. I believe he's traveling or out of town. But This may be a two-part follow-up. You may hear from Mr. Messer from the legal department and also from the mayor's office with follow-up and clarification on this. So I will pass this information along to Mr. Bill Reynolds, and he will give it to the appropriate department and start to work on this with you, because it's not something that we can resolve here today. If
I
it's a
understand
detailed
that.
legal question, but we do have your information, and we'll pass it along.
But all due respect, the reason I'm here today, I got till Thursday to either resolve this with you all. I'm basically in here asking for a stay of execution. Okay? I got till Thursday to cut them down, or the city will cut them down and fine me and charge me the cost.
You mean cut the weeds, not the trees, right? Is that what's
Well,
you've been
I mean,
told?
one man weed is another man trees. When I have to cut it under
So-
the code, I've got to go in there and cut everything down below 20 inches.
Okay.
I found out it was at 20 inches now.
Okay, thank you. And what I will do, Mr. Reynolds, here's your sense of urgency as well, and they will follow up with you. We can't resolve this here today for you.
I just want you to call off the cutters until Thursday. I doubt if you're going to do whatever you have to do by Thursday. See, this Thursday's the deadline.
I realize that, but we don't have the power to change. I don't even have the information on this code case at this point. So I appreciate your information, and I will give it to Mr. Reynolds, and then also if there's any follow-up from Mr. Messer from the standpoint of the precedent case that you've given us, the other property.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.